So in an age where it seems like marriage is devalued and at times debunked, why in the world would anybody advocate getting married young? Well, yours truly have the pros and cons of why you should or should not marry young. So one of the first things people say in regards to getting married young is that you just don't know yourself. Get to know yourself more. Babe, why you laughing?
Why are you saying that more?
Because that's how they say it. I just feel like you got to get to know yourself more.
Yeah.
So first, you go ahead with why they say that, and then I'll kind of talk about why I believe that's not necessarily the case.
Okay. I think they say that because when you're young, especially like just coming out of your parents' house, if you go to college, that's really a time after you turn like 17, 18, where you are really independent and just starting to like come into yourself, come into adulthood, making your own decisions and living autonomously. And so before that, you're kind of under your parents, under the way they think, their rules, their religion, their understanding, and you really haven't necessarily like paved that way for yourself. So to get into a relationship, and especially marriage, is very will just teach you a lot about yourself, things that you didn't necessarily know, and you're different from when you're in your parents' home. So I think that's what they're saying as far as like not knowing yourself enough to really know like that. Oh, hairbow check.
1 minute. I would definitely say present day. My rebuttal to that would be this: is the more that you get into marriage, and marriage is as a covenant, the more you realize that the more that you lose yourself is whenever you truly go closer to your spouse. You know what I'm saying? And so we build so much into like getting to know yourself, and then let's just say someone does get married later, they've had past their ripe adult years of 18. Let's say that they get married at 28, 29, 30. Some people, their mid 30s, they have 14, 15 years of getting to know themselves. And so then they spend the next 5 years trying to tear themselves down so that they can get along with their spouse. You know what I'm saying? So I think there's something to be said about growing up together in a way.
Yeah.
Second thing people say is you have so much life to live. Like, go live life. Go live life. What do people mean by that typically?
I think, a lot of times people want to travel or have experiences that are really a lot easier to do when you just have yourself to think about. If you want to go up and go to Timbuktu, you don't have to like consider anyone else, let alone if you have children. And so I think that that's what they mean whenever they say that you have so much life. There's so many experiences, whether it's a certain career track that can be very demanding, being in the military, being in just certain, professions that are like very demanding to where, and very time consuming to where a spouse would, hinder.
Yeah, that's what they say,
that
you would hinder it.
So, but I think.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, but I think that there's something to be said of starting memories earlier with your spouse. So, like, if you get married younger, then you kind of have like, especially if you were like married in college or right after college, and then you had your kids, and you kind of like at the end of your life, you've had maybe 30, 40, 50 years of marriage, maybe 60 years of marriage, instead of just like 20 or 10 years of marriage, like it. So I think there's something to be said of that, like doing more life together. That's real. That could, be a good thing.
That's real. And again, it just has this theme of like, that person is going to hinder you from living. It's kind of thing where it's like men say, I'm under the ball and chain, or what I'm saying, or I'm cuffed down. It's cuffing season, or however they say it. But it's just this thing where it's like being in a covenantal relationship, marriage. is more of a burden than it is a blessing. You know what I'm saying? And so I love how you're talking about creating
More
memories
of a
together.
blessing than a
Yeah. No, I'm saying that people view it as more of a, yeah.
Okay.
And so it's a thing where it's like when you get a chance to create those memories together, like that's
Yeah.
truly a blessing, you know? And not to say that by getting married younger that you're not going to have, you know, bumps, because, you know, we can definitely attest
Right.
to the bumps that we've incurred and a lot of things that we've come through and still are working through because of
Yeah.
being married young. But I think, you know, being in our early 30s now, it's like, you look back and it's like, yo, wow, like I've been knowing you since I was like 19 years old. You know, it's just that thing where like we laugh all the time where it's like,
Yeah.
oh, you old, but it's like we're not really old, like we're
Right,
young, you know. But
right.
it just has that thing where it's like you've done so much of life
Yeah.
together to where you feel like you have seasoning and mileage.
true.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
And you really feel like you can get through anything together because you've had this long track record of building together. And so
Excuse this girl's hair, y'all. Just excuse it.
she likes to play. So my mommy had actually just did it, and yeah, then we put on the camera and she started rolling around and doing her thing. So it is what it is. This is real life. I think another thing is probably more so on the male side. Some would even say, you know, females are more aggressive in this area nowadays, where there's an idea of like just testing the water or dating around or weighing your options, or on the more extreme side, like sowing your wild oats, so to speak. First of all, I think that's foolishness. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's just call it what it is. Like, that's some tomfoolery. Like, being out here just loose. And then, you know, once you get in your 40s and 50s, you feel like, well, you know, I got this to take care of it. I got that to take care of it. And I get this, man. It's like, yo, like, you know, not because we just talked about like being judgmental and all that stuff. Not to be judgmental. Let me pull the log out of my own eye for a minute. Okay, let's address the spec. That's some foolishness. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
You're very passionate about that.
Yeah, it's some foolishness because it just creates headaches. Like, you know, whenever you see so many men who have these situations, you know, and the stress and the ducking and the dodging and the noise that it creates for them, it's
Yeah.
like, well, how did that work out? Like, let's just give it a how
Like
did that
you're
work
talking
out?
about like baby mama drama?
Yeah.
Like if they have a lot of different baby
Yeah.
mamas? So, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
definitely stressful. Definitely
Like,
stressful.
for real, bruh. You know you stressed, bruh. Stop. Like, for real. You know what I'm saying?
And then whenever you do get married, give that to me. Whenever you do get married, you have like alimony payments or child support, and then like your household doesn't
suffers
really get
because of that. You
all
can't
of
even you can't even build your situation because you got situation over there. You know what I'm saying? Yo, I know I'm going a little hard right now on this, but it's like whenever they go hard on what we on, you know what I'm saying, and you don't get a chance to speak back to that, it just builds up. You just feel the need to say what you need to say. Say what you need to say. Who's that, John Mayer?
I don't know.
I'm not plugging John Mayer up in here. Whatever. So, you just talked about I'm grabbing my head. I'm frustrated.
Yeah, we should probably take a break.
It's gonna be a part 2. What do y'all think? Is there pros and cons to getting married young? Holla at us. What are the pros? What are the cons? What are maybe some of the things that people have said that have deterred you or someone you know from getting married young? Maybe those of you who waited till you got married a little bit older. What are some of the ways that you feel like that benefited you? We would love to hear. Send us some comments below. Definitely like the video and share. And as always, you can email us at famillyforalifetime@gmail.com. I'm gonna go and do some yoga or something because right now I am on one. Blessings.